Your own host, Cheyenne Morvan.
Hey guys, I'm Cheyenne and welcome to Miss Morvan's Muffins. Today we are going to make a lemon blueberry muffin. We are going to start off by preheating our oven to 400 degrees, so if you guys could go ahead at home and get started doing that. And then you have an option of either greasing your pan first or using muffin liners. I personally prefer using muffin liners because it's less of a mess and it's an easier cleanup. So you want to put one in each spot. This recipe makes about 12 muffins, roughly. It depends. If you fill your cup up halfway, it'll make the muffin smaller, but if you want like a deli size muffin, you can fill it up all the way to the top of the container. Okay, and so once you get all of these in there, you're good to set them to the side. So we're going to set these back here. Okay, and then we're going to start mixing our batter. In the large bowl, you want to mix 1 3/4 cup of flour. So we got our handy dandy measuring spoons, which come with a ring, and you can remove it, which makes it a lot easier. So this right here is our full cup. So we're going to make sure we get it filled all the way to the top. You want to kind of keep it over the bowl so it's less of a mess. There's 1 cup. And then we'll do this one. I don't personally mind like eyeing stuff. I feel like it'll turn out fine. So like for the 3/4 cup, we're just going to fill this flour 3/4 of the way. Okay? And then we're going to move on to our sugar. And it really depends on how sweet you want to make it. I personally am not a fan of just straight sugar muffins, so I would just use about 1/2 cup. And once again, I would pour it over the bowl just to save less time cleaning up. The powder's coming off of it. All right, so then you would dump that in there. You set these to the side. Okay, and this recipe calls for, we can shake this up and get it going. This recipe calls for lemon zest, and I personally had never used this before this recipe, and so I had to look up how to do it. And I did not have a lemon zester, so I decided to just use a knife. And so what I did was, I took my lemon, and I kind of like choppily cut off the outer edge, because this is the lemon zest. You don't want to get any of the white because that's what has the bitter taste to it. This just fills your batter with like packed lemony. It just makes it taste really good. So you can chop it off like this, and then you can, as you see, I like diced them. Okay, our recipe only calls for 2 tablespoons of lemon zest, so that's not a lot. So you can see that a little goes a long way. So then we will, this is our 1/2 teaspoon, so we're going to use 4 of these and put it in here. It's okay to get a little messy. Okay, I'll pack this in here. And I made this first batch earlier and I put a little more lemon zest, and so this time I think I'm gonna, All right guys, well, when we come back, we're about to cut to a commercial break. So when we get back, we're gonna move on to putting our nuts into our mixture, because you can buy them already chopped or you can go ahead and chop them yourself. So thanks for joining us. We'll be right back.
As an athlete, you train hard day in and day out. Sweat is nothing to you but hard work paying off. However, this dedication of yours may leave you feeling exhausted throughout the day. Endrate is a sports drink that not only hydrates you, which revives your body naturally, but also gives you a boost of energy to get you going in your busy day. Endrate, energy and hydration.
We stopped right before we mixed in our nuts, and I just bought pecans. You can use walnuts or any other type of nut that you like. This is just my preference. And these are already halved, but I mean, sometimes you have to cut the bag because you're not very strong, so, you know. But so I would just, and it's really your preference on how many you want to put in there. Like if you like it really nutty, you can put a lot. And you can decide on if you want big chunks or just small chunks. The first batch I made, I put really small chunks in, like about this size. So you can barely see that they're in there and barely taste them, but you can still get the taste of it. Other times you can add big chunks, or if you're feeling really brave, you can just add like the whole half. It doesn't really matter. It's really your preference. Okay, and then the next thing we are gonna do is mix our wet ingredients. You wanna use 4 tablespoons of melted butter, and I like to buy the stick butter because it shows you what is 4 tablespoons. So you don't actually have to melt the butter and then see how much it was. You can just cut it in half and then melt it, and you know it's 4 teaspoons. Okay, so we got that in, and then we're gonna add a cup of milk. So you can use whatever you want. The more healthy you want your recipe to be, I would use coconut milk or some type of milk like that. But I just use whole milk because that's what I eat in my cereal. So we're gonna go ahead and pour the 1 cup. And then we're gonna go ahead and mix that in. Then you wanna get your whisk. Okay, and then I would add in, really it's kind of how much vanilla you want to put in, once again your preference, but I would go ahead and just put in a tablespoon or a teaspoon. Oh, this one's not open. Okay, dump that in. Like I said, I'm not a person that just sticks straight to the measurements. You can wing it and it still be really good. So then you want to whisk all that together, get it nice and mixed up. Okay, and so then you can just use one of the soft spatulas to mix around these ingredients and get them nice and blended in together. And then you go ahead and add your wet ingredients to your dry. Try not to make a mess. And so you whisk all this up. Make sure you get the sides really good because the flour likes to stick over there. Okay, and your batter will be lumpy, but it's because you have the lemon zest in it and you have, well, right now we have halved pecans. Okay? And so then the next thing we're gonna add in is our blueberries. Now, I used frozen blueberries because I bought a big bag so they would last for a while. I would prefer fresh, but they're just harder to keep in your refrigerator. Some people get mad because the color bleeds into their muffins, but I personally don't care. I think it just makes them prettier. But the secret with mixing your blueberries in is you don't want to mash them in with your batter. You want to actually fold them in. So I add half in at first. And then I take from the bottom and pull it over the top. So I try not to squish the blueberries, just mix them in. Okay, and so then you can go ahead and add your other half. It just makes it easier if you half it up so you don't feel like you have to mush them all together. Okay. And once you get this all mixed up together, that's when you start spooning it into your cupcake holders. And so like I said, you can fill it up to the top if you want a bigger muffin or fill it up smaller if you want mini muffins. This is what your muffins will turn out like. So thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the recipe. Come back and see us.